Before I get started, I want to take this moment and give honor to my pastor, Blankenship, and Pastor Bembry. We are so blessed to have such great men of God over us and watching over us. I also want to give honor to my wife. Anytime you think of me, go ahead and pray for her. The Lord knows how or why or where she stays, but thank God for it. I'm going to start with 2 Kings chapter 2, verses 9 and 10. And it came to pass, when they were gone over, that Elijah said unto Elisha, Ask what I shall do for thee before I be taken away from thee. And Elisha said, I pray thee, let a double portion of thy spirit be upon me. And he said, Thou hast asked a hard thing. Nevertheless, if thou see me when I am taken from thee, it shall be so unto thee. But if not, it shall not be so. You may be seated. The story of Elisha is an awesome story, really. God told Elijah to anoint him before Elijah had ever met him. In 1 Kings chapter 19 and verse 16, it says, And Elisha, the son of Shaphat of Abimelech, shalt thou anoint to be prophet in thy room. In verse number 19, in verse number 19, Elijah cast his mantle upon him. The very first thing that Elijah does when meeting Elisha, is he cast his mantle on him. There's no conversation. He just cast a mantle on him. In verses number 20 and 21, Elisha accepts. 3 times in 2 Kings chapter 2, Elijah tells Elijah to tarry here. He tells him, I go to a place and I want you to stay here. 3 times Elisha told him, I will not leave thee. In verse 9, Elijah asks, What can I do for you before I die? And in verse 10, Elijah promises a double portion. Yes, in verse 9, Elisha responds, I want a double portion. And in verse 10, Elijah promises a double portion. In verse 11, Elijah was taken. In verse 12, it tells us that Elisha saw it. Now this double portion we interpret that as twice as many miracles. The miracles of Elisha are, in 2 Kings chapter 2, verse 14, Jordan was divided. In 2 Kings chapter 2, verse 21, waters were healed. In 2 Kings chapter 2, verse 24, mockers were torn by bears. In 2 Kings chapter 3, verse 16, water was supplied. In 2 Kings chapter 4, verse 5, the widow's oil was multiplied. In 2 Kings chapter 4, verse 41, pottage was rendered harmless. In 2 Kings chapter 4, verse 43, loaves were multiplied. In 2 Kings chapter 4, verse 35, a child was raised to life. In 2 Kings chapter 5 and verse 10, Naaman was healed. In 2 Kings chapter 5, verse 27, Gehazi was struck with leprosy. In 2 Kings chapter 6, verse 6, iron was caused to swim. In 2 Kings chapter 6, verse 18, Syrians were smitten. In 2 Kings chapter 13, verse 21, a man was resurrected. This is the final miracle that Elisha gets credit for. The truth is, though, this man wasn't just resurrected. He was resurrected when he was thrown onto the bones of Elisha. You see, all of this happened because Elijah put his mantle on Elisha. Elijah gave no pep talk to Elisha. All Elijah asked to do was to go kiss his mom and dad and he went and followed Elijah. Elisha stayed with Elijah until the very end. No matter how many times Elijah told him to stay here while I go, Elisha went with him. You see, Elisha had a yes on his spirit. He did not have to be prodded. He just had to simply just follow the man of God where he was going. He did not have to be continually asked. He did not have to have someone come to him every time that something went along. He went with the man of God. How much more blessed would we be if we just carried a yes in our spirit instead of trying to find a way out, instead of trying to say, I can't do this. We just had a yes in our spirit. Be blessed, church.